Okay, whichever we're going to go with recordings. Welcome to the November meeting of the Facilities and Planning Committee. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum as noted, and as always, we're being live streamed on YouTube, so judge yourselves appropriately. We'd like to start the meeting by the approval of the minutes of August 13th, 2025. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Thank you all. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any, yeah. So we will take that meeting as accepted, and we'll move on to our informational items. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Ms. Bowser and Mr. Bisaac to talk about our proposed amendment to our committee charter.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. So similar to the other committee charters that have been reviewed by the committees over the past month or so, we are seeking an amendment to the committee charter for the Facilities and Planning Committee. There are some cleanup type edits, but there is one substantive edit to clarify that while all trustees of the Metro Health Board of Trustees can attend the Facilities and Planning Committee, we welcome their attendance. Only those trustees that are assigned to the Facilities and Planning Committee can vote during the committee meeting on matters before the committee and going into executive session. Are there any questions about the updates to the committee charter that I can answer for anyone?
But for everyone's understanding, this will be passed on to the governance committee for review as they review all the charters, and then they will make a final recommendation to the board to accept or not accept these. So if any discussion or any concerns, certainly get another chance to address them there.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. If there are no questions, I would like to ask the committee to make a recommendation to send this to the governance committee for review and approval.
Do we have a second to that motion? Okay, second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The motion carries, and we will move this forward to the governance committee. I, for one, I'm glad I'm not the chair of the governance committee, so. We'll move on to the RSM report. We'll get an update on our campus transformation. So, Mr. Bisaac, if you want to update us at this time.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Walker. I'll hand it to our RSM representative.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
So my name is Devin Marchand. I'm a supervisor at RSM. I've been with the firm for a little over 7 years now, and I have been working with the MHS team for about 6 years. I'm the current lead on the day-to-day, or on the Apex project and the day-to-day contact as well. And with me, I have David Luker, who is the partner on the account. He is currently traveling, so he's not on camera, but he does join us. Awesome. So here we have a summary of the current status of our reviews for the project. We've reviewed 202 invoices to date, totaling about 180 million of costs. 150 or 185.6 million of that is related to the construction costs, and then about 2.3 million is related to the consultant costs. We have recovered a little over $1 million to date, and we're currently wrapping up our interim review of the costs through September 30th of 2023. Next slide, please. So this gives a summarization of the procedures that we perform on a monthly basis, as well as our interim and closeout reviews. So monthly, we're evaluating each invoice that comes in for contract compliance, mathematical accuracy, and for appropriate supporting documentation. And then we provide a checklist to project management detailing the steps that we performed and any notes and things that we find. And then for our interim and closeout reviews, that's when we do our deep dive. We obtain the contractor's job cost ledger, and we're reconciling their accounting records to the amount billed as of, whatever cutoff date we're looking at that point. So that's when we also test our change orders and are recalculating the insurance and fees. And then we provide a report to project management with the overall reconciliation and then any observations that we might find. Next, thank you. So to date, the total contract value for the Apex project, including all 5 of the project components, is about $208 million. And completion's currently planned for May 2026. And that puts our closeout procedures occurring around July 2026. Again, we've reviewed about $188 million of costs and have performed 14 interim and change order reviews so far. Next slide, please. So for our monitoring results, like I said, we've recovered a little over $1 million, which was due to a duplicative subcontractor billing. And then during our previous interim, we found that the amount billed to date for the subcontractor default insurance was about $17,000 more than the amount that we recalculated. We'll continue to monitor that during our current interim and then during closeout. And then at closeout, if we calculate any remaining overbilling, that's when we would recommend a deductive change order for that. But that won't be until the middle of next year. So for next steps, we'll continue to do our monthly reviews for the next 8 months or so. We plan to wrap up our current interim within the next couple of weeks. And then we will perform that closeout around the middle of next year, which is crazy that we're kind of nearing the end here after so many years. That's our update, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Yeah, thank you.
If there are no questions for RSM, we'll move on to the campus transformation update. If we could have those slides, please. Good, thank you. Let's move on to the next slide. So for this update, I'm going to focus on the outpatient health center, the remaining ambulatory enabling projects, and a few other significant projects through planning, design, and construction. Next slide. Next slide, please. Quick update. Exterior work substantially complete this last week. And the photos you see are actually a couple of weeks old, so we progressed beyond that. But the paving has been completed in the back, and much of the landscaping is now prepared for final on the exterior. A little work to do at the canopies, but not very much. Floor by floor status, the 5th floor is moving towards substantial completion, not much left to do there. Our crews are now cleaning it and pulling up all the protection. 4th floor is a little behind that, and it'll continue down. So the building was, as I mentioned before, will be completed from the top down. So we're to a point where we're near doing punch lists on a floor by floor basis, so you can read and see what's going on there. Next slide, please. We just got a handful of photos again. These are already overrun by events. All of that's paved now. The upper ones are in the dock area, and the lower one is the canopy at the drive-through pharmacy. And the arrows have already been painted there as well, so it's ready to go. You'll see that it's closed off for safekeeping, but it's all in good shape. Next slide. Handful of slides to show you the 5th floor. What you see on the floor there, that's just protection. Final floor is flooring is already in. On the lower right, that's the lobby area. Even that has started to clear out and be ready for final clean. So that floor is substantially on its way to being usable, and we just got to get the other floors to that point. Next slide, please. So a few examples on the lower floors. You can see a lot of the drywall is in, ceiling grid, all of that kind of thing. The medical infusion casework down on the 4th floor, and that's all in. So you can see the grid on the ceiling. So everything is moving quickly, and the crews are pretty efficient about getting through. Just so you're aware, we're doing a fair bit of weekend work to stay current with the schedule. There's a little competition in town for skilled craftspeople. We're trying to win that competition and keep them here. Next slide, please. Okay, so upcoming, we've already completed the exterior work. Like I said, very little to do out there. As we go floor by floor, in addition to the finishes, we're down to the tail end of doing commissioning work on some of the major pieces of equipment, but also all the final trim details, like getting the outlet covers on the wall, things like. There's a lot of that yet to do on the lower floors, but the upper floors, for the most part, are well on the way toward completing that. But it's 300,000 square feet, so it takes a while to get all that done. Ground floor drywall installation, taping, that sort of thing. That's right now. I'm trying to make sure we got enough people out there to stay ahead of the game. But that's where we're going. Next slide. Again, this is our schedule graphic I've shown before. You can see the line toward the middle where the vertical red line is, and that brown line shows the 5th floor being complete, 4th floor shortly behind it. We've got a good cadence to get through the rest of the floors. Still looking at February for our time-limited certificate of occupancy. The key to that is having a functional fire suppression, fire alarm system that allows us to get in the building without our PPE things and start moving furniture. I will note that we are able here this month, next week, to get IS into the building and start the work that they need to do, including distribution of some of their things. We're working on seeing what we might be able to also move in before that February date. And of course, you move out to the April date. Still looking at April 20th is our date, and we're just doing a lot of planning now to get all the work done in between then. So let's go to the next slide on that occupancy and move in. So transition planning activity. Eileen, if you'd like to say a few words about this slide.
Thanks, Jim. Again, transition planning, we've been talking about this all week. So we're 159 days from today for first patient. So we're getting excited. This week, the committees are meeting, all the 7 committees that we have with all the stakeholders to finalize all the activities that need to happen. Next month is the final committee meetings. So we hope to have all the operational pieces wrapped up by the end of the year. First quarter of next year, we will focus on all the training and education orientation that needs to be done for how the facility runs, all the way through department orientation for every caregiver that will be in the space. So we talked a lot about all the procurement that we've done. Now we're working on our activation schedule of when fixed equipment comes in, so we can tie into the construction with Turner. Furniture all has been ordered. We're also working on our schedule that when we can take the deliveries. As Jim had mentioned, we're working with the city officials to see how soon we can get in. Obviously, the sooner the better for me and my team, but we'll bring the resources we need to make sure the building gets loaded. We are planning a day in the life activity for the end of March. And again, that's all-day activity. We'll do morning sessions, afternoon sessions, where people actually get to get into the clinics, test out the systems, test out the printers, make sure the doors are working, and we do a whole process of logging any construction issues, operating issues that we have. So it still gives us like a month to make some modifications before first patient. So as Jim mentioned, IS will start deploying devices next week. We're going to start with phones, and then we'll start bringing in all the devices as the contractor's finishing up the floors. IS will follow them with deploying all the computers into the exam rooms and all the work areas in there. Artwork, Linda is working feverishly, getting all the artwork selected so that can go in the first part of next year as well. And then we've pretty much finalized, we've been working with marketing over the past couple of weeks on the wayfinding signage, the destination signage, what's the appropriate nomenclature that we need to use there. So we're finalizing those packets so we can get that into production as well. Next slide, please. Again, our timeline that we've been sharing with you, the committees have been working very well as we work through all the details. Again, targeting the April 20th, and then as you see, we're moving into the next phase, which will really be developing all the training and orientation and orienting folks to the building. Next slide.
So few comments before that, just to comment on what Abby was talking about. I mentioned this before. On a project like this, there isn't a handshake kind of handoff that one side's done and hands it to the other. This is a relay where we're both running in the same lane at the same time for a while. And so when we talk about our ability to get, whether it's IS activity in or get furniture in, we're trying to do this all in coordination with the contractor finishing their work, not getting in each other's way, but taking advantage of the time that we can get. So this is where a lot of streams of activity are starting to come together and vie for the same spots. Right now, we're doing real well. We still like each other, and that's going to be key to getting this thing done. Hopefully, we stay out of each other's way. But I think that's critical to the success of the project. And the project is moving. We have our anxiety about schedule, as we always do, but it's on time and it's within our budget. And we've got some room to maneuver if we need to. So we'll go to the next one. Any questions about that? I'm sorry, yes.
So I gather we don't have supply chain issues that are cause for concern, or we do?
No, right now we do not.
Okay.
And of course, we're at the end of our procurement. So I think our ability to get this project restarted at the time we did and get the long lead time items done has been very helpful. We really don't have any issues with that.
That's great.
Like I said, our issues right now are a little bit around that there's a fair bit of work in the city, as we're finding out. So getting a few of the skilled trades that we'd like, we're having to call upstairs quite a bit to get the crews we need here. That happens when you've got multiple projects going on. But we've done pretty well, like I said, to get the extra electricians we talked about. Right now, we're looking for some extra tapers and finishers for the lower level drywall. But we think we have them rounded up. Contractor's been doing a good job of getting the staffing.
And even on the hospitals, with what we have purchased, we haven't had any supply chain issues. Actually, we have a warehouse full of items that are ready to go into the building. So we feel very confident about being able to open up the building and having everything that we need.
It's great.
Ron?
So was there an increased cost due to the fact you're working longer hours?
Only in one instance. Typically, the longer hours are the
I'm just
responsibility.
talking about overall, I don't need to know, so I'm just saying, so.
Okay, so I'll just tell you, generally, no.
Okay,
Because
that's
it's
it, that's,
contractor's
that answers it. I don't need to know about a micro, I just want to make sure from an overall perspective, that's fine.
No, it's on them.
So you weren't paying a premium for a long period of time trying to bring electricians in, so.
No, we're
Are we
not.
talking yet about the ambulatory enabling projects 2.0 to 2025?
Well, we're just now getting to those.
Okay, I have a question when you're done talking about that one, so.
Okay. Ali, do you want to take us through
Sure.
those, please?
Yeah, just a quick update on the AEP projects. And basically, we're winding down the projects that were identified probably 4 or 5 years ago to be implemented on the ambulatory satellite locations. So we did open up the Heart and Vascular Clinic last month. Just Monday, we opened up the pain management clinic, which was a relocation from West 150th to Parma. I think they're very pleased with the new space that they have. No longer are the physicians working out of the hallways. So a nice environment for our providers as well as our patients. The MRI project is still ongoing. We finally gotten some budgetary pricing. The implementation of this may be delayed because we need to take care of a imaging issue for the ED. So it may push back our MRI implementation because of the logistics that we need to do. But everything is ready to go on that project. And then we're in the last final phase, which is the expansion of physical therapy at Parma. So there's a couple different phases to that. So we should have phase 1, which is the expansion of the gym area, complete by the end of the year. And then we're refreshing some of the podiatry and orthopedic area. And that will complete the designated AEP projects for us. So any questions on that? I think Ron said he had a
Yes.
question.
Ron?
So what's the magnet strength what's the current strength of the magnet being replaced at Parma? And what's the new strength of the magnet going in at Parma?
I believe they're both still 1.5.
Okay. And I guess, this is more for the clinical team, and I don't know if has there been a standard set for the system for ambulatory sites versus non-ambulatory sites for magnet strength? And
I think so.
No, so no, that has not been done today.
Okay,
Sorry.
don't be sorry. I just asking questions, so.
No, I just meant, sorry, I don't know if you can see me, sorry.
Sorry, are you done? All right, that's all the questions I had.
Any other questions on AEP? Okay, let's run through planning, design, construction activities. Just wanted to put these up there to let you know there's other things going on that are significant to the campus. We're in the middle of refresh, renovation, planning for the emergency department. We've got design development documents. There's been really good participation from ED staff, management, physicians to get us to this point. We've got preliminary cost estimating in. We're going through the value engineering process. We also have construction phasing and planning information, and we're working hard on that. One of the key issues that we're going to be working with the team on is figuring out how to do all of this work while still having a fully functioning ER throughout the process. And how we do this may have an impact on our cost overall. If we can shorten that time, that reduces the cost. So we're still in the middle of that, but want to make you aware that that's ongoing. Exterior signage, I think we're to a point where we're just looking at the implementation plan as we do other things. We've reported on that before. And then main campus legacy buildings. We've talked some in detail about this last time, but we're moving forward with their planning for the relocation of the remaining departments, particularly in the core and towers, and looking at isolating that northern end of campus to do that demolition first and then follow with the remaining Hammond, Gannett South group later. To help us do that, we've gone through an architectural engineering consultant selection process. And I just listed below the key things that we're looking at for those teams. We've got some very good teams that we interviewed. We have one that we think is our probable successful proposer. We're going to sit down with them to go through scope to make sure, but they have excellent programming, planning skills in trying to figure out how to relocate folks. Most of them had existing projects they'd worked on that were very similar. Other healthcare organizations that were doing something similar, moving people around to be able to vacate buildings. And then a key element of the work they will do is all the engineering needed for the utility and infrastructure reconfigurations to detach the buildings we're going to demolish, while at the same time ensuring that services are still provided to the ones we're going to keep. So that's going to be a complicated little thing, but that's ongoing in process. We'll have help on board here by the end of the year. Any questions about that?
A quick pitch.
Yes.
I said it before, you guys are very sympathetic. The OB and family medicine patients coming in to deliver babies go through our horrible
Yes.
ER entrance. So it's got to be a priority to think creatively about a much more patient-friendly access. Right now, it's as bad as it can be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
And it is a distinct element in sort of rethinking that whole entry process at DD. So appreciate that comment.
I'll try not to say it again.
You're always allowed to.
I've got Chrissy here.
Hopefully you won't
And
have
the
to.
postpartum unit that looks like an OR suite.
The postpartum needs to be fixed. It looks like you're there to have your gallbladder out, not sleep with your new baby. The lighting is terrible, the paint is terrible.
Okay.
Come take a tour.
Yeah, I was going to say
I-
that could
I
be
know
another
well,
conversation.
so, yeah.
You look like you're under a microscope or in a petri dish, not there to celebrate.
And
the
that's
day.
what-
Opportunity for another day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're
Thank you
making a
for
note of that. It's true.
Beautiful space.
It's just beautiful space. Yeah, I think a coat of paint would go a long way.
That's right.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Any further questions on planning, design, construction? Okay. Yes, sorry.
Just allow me to recalibrate. What I'm seeing is stuff that's been on our plate for a while. What I'm not seeing is anything big and new. Am I reading that correctly?
It's, I would say new. What we're seeing here to do the emergency part renovation and the legacy buildings, those are big, which I think we all agree. So they're taking a lot of time to plan this out correctly. I don't have anything big and new.
The
Sort of,
strategy, this has all been in part of what we.
it's all connected to, it's all part of the strategy. And the strategy that we're working on takes us to a point where we've cleared the campus of the buildings that are no longer useful to the organization for achieving its healthcare mission. And by doing so, we're relieving the cost of maintaining the buildings that are not contributing to our success. And also providing the open space and land needed for whatever development is needed in the future, whether that's inpatient or outpatient. And so the focus of this work has been to complete that strategic initiative to provide for that. And then whatever comes after that is the next iteration of the strategic planning.
So Mike, next board meeting, we're gonna get an update on strategy and something like that. I think we'll probably have to be a good time to talk about how all that folds into that. But we're gonna have a good part of that meeting is gonna be about strategy.
And I would say, and I'm glad to know that, but I also am sensitive to the notion of not putting too much more on our plate. We've got a lot of really important fundamental work. Getting it done and done well is good work. And having an eye to the future is part of our responsibility as a board and certainly as executive leaders. But I've made the mistake too many times of creating 10 years worth of work and calling it a 2-year plan. And I want to make sure, we don't do that here as well.
Okay. Appreciate that.
And agreed. And I think also the ED is a bigger deal than maybe you think, but that's going to be a big deal.
Any further questions or comments?
Hearing none. Thank you.
Okay. So let's move on. We've got let's see here if there's anything left.
Yeah, I think we have facilities management next, right?
Yeah, the priorities, you've read those. Those are kind of as you'd expect. So from there, I'll turn it over to Karen for the facilities update.
Okay. While he's bringing those slides up, I'll just keep talking. To date, we've started 131 major and minor projects totaling a little over $5 million, ostensibly repairs and replacements. Our building automation system, which is our largest project, it's 3.5 million, is about 83% complete at this point in time and won't be completed until close to summer of next year. We have ongoing projects also to upgrade the CCP generators, and they will be also continuing into next year. We've got the installation of a new steam boiler that will be happening at Parma shortly after the first of the year when it's delivered. And we also ordered a new chiller and cooling tower that will be going in to the outpatient plaza in the first end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter next year. That chiller and cooling tower are original to the building. They're 35 years old. They're well past their useful life and have been rebuilt historically several times. Actually, 123 of these projects were break fix, 2 were facilities strategic projects, and the other 6 were initiated on behalf of other departments. Next slide, please. Jim asked me to talk a little bit about some of the other things that facilities has been doing over the last year. Clearly working with campus transformation on some of their initiatives. The biggest one being the main campus utilities study, which is quite complicated. We've also been investigating how to separate the outpatient plaza from our powerhouse and put in a separate boiler to power that, so when the powerhouse goes away, it can stand on its own. And in addition to that, we're making regular rounds of the outpatient health center to get our staff familiarized with the space and the equipment. We've also developed a water quality testing program and flushing programs so that when the water gets activated in that building, we'll keep it safe for the patients when they get there. And we're also waiting for the training schedules and the equipment list so we can build all the equipment into our PM systems. In addition to that, we're managing infrastructure upgrades to support the replacement of some lab equipment. The labs at Parma, Cleveland Heights, and Brecksville got new chemistry analyzers and several other pieces of equipment, which are fairly large. And we had to support both the old equipment and the new equipment and the heat load that they produced because they needed to validate the new equipment before they got rid of the old equipment. So we had some challenges keeping the air conditioning appropriate for this summer so that everything would run properly. And that's been an ongoing project for about 8 months now. And it's still, in fact, we have a meeting this afternoon about it. They're still validating the equipment, and then the last of that equipment will then go away and give them some more space in those labs. We've also supported the site consolidation effort that happened in October and developed a new 5-year capital plan. And we've initiated 10-hour shifts and revised weekend rotation schedules to make sure that we have adequate staff here on the weekend and to minimize overtime. And we're doing a 3-month pilot project with the staff to see how that goes and decide after that whether we'll expand it or contract it. We also have 3 interns from Lincoln West High School that are shadowing our skilled trades professionals and possibly for entry into the skilled trades profession, which could use some people. And then we've also been readying our building and equipment for winter. All the boilers are up and running and ready to go. All the filters have been changed out in the HVAC equipment. And we're converting from cooling systems to heating systems and draining the cooling towers so they don't freeze over the winter. Our trucks and our plows and salt spreaders are all ready to go, and we're ready for the weather.
That's about too loud. Right, might jinx us.
Are there any questions for the facilities management report? Well, then that concludes our informational reports we have for today.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, your team. I'm now going to ask for a motion to move into executive session to discuss hospital trade secrets as defined by ORC 1333.61. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. We'll now do a roll call. John Moss,
Yes.
Ron D,
Yes.
Mike Summers.
Yes.
I can't tell any other board members that I can't see as well as I used to could see.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, and I will say yes. So we'll then ask the public to step out. You're not
One
public.
second, I'm sorry.
Dr.
I'm sorry.
Alexander, you're not public.
I know, so that's what happened, Dr. Walker. She,
You say step out, she steps out.
She made me lose my train of
Right
thought when
back
she
after
did
these
that.
messages. Oh, everybody's going to the private meeting. Bless you. You're allergic to executive session. Sir.
Okay, we are all in executive session. Okay, Dr. Walker, hold on for 1 second. Dr. Walker, we are back in public session.
Thank you. And again, thank everyone for the discussion we had resolving some of the challenges we're facing facilities going forward as we, identify our future projects for the Metro Health System. Does anyone else have any things we need to discuss today? Hearing none, I will adjourn and just say I would like to make you to bank the 40 minutes that I have now saved us for a future meeting that will probably run.
Probably add that at the board meeting.
We'll add that back next week.
Yeah, so I want this on my account. So, but
You got it.
thank you all for your time and attendance. Thank you.